I like to use acrylics when I want to paint something, sit down, paint it, and keep working and have it dry. What I find out with the oil paints, even the water miscible oil paints, you do need to let it dry for a few days in between successively working so that you don't create mud. And so the oil paints teach me patience, and the acrylic paints allow me to execute an artistic vision very rapidly. Well, when I first started painting, it was actually because I wanted to paint my dog. It was bad. So I decided I needed to paint a lot of dogs. So I went through a period of time where I did nothing but paint dogs. And then I hosted a one-person art show called 100 Dogs and donated 15% of the results from the proceeds from that sale to the Humane Society and 15% to the Land Trust of the Treasure Valley, which is where I met a lot of the animals out on the trails. I spent a lot of time hiking with my dog out in the nature. One of the primary animals last year that I worked with was the black-footed ferret. It was believed extinct until about 1979 when one was found in Wyoming. And now they're in the hundreds and they're under conservation. And it's a very interesting story because the black-footed ferrets are the natural predator of the prairie dogs. And people are concerned about prairie dog overpopulation. And they tried to kill prairie dogs with gases and poisons, which really they eradicated the natural predator. And so it's really the symbiosis and the interrelationships of all species that are critical and how they relate together, not just one species or another. I think it's important to see animals in a connected way versus in an objective, like this, here's this other thing. And I seek in my art to bring out human qualities, or what you might call human qualities in art, like motherhood or survival or protection, goofiness, without being, trivial, in a way that you can see, oh, every species experiences certain shared experiences and emotions or situations. And I think that makes me really connect with my art. I think actually everybody does have a spark to create. It just comes out in different ways. They may not think of themselves as somebody who creates or somebody who is artistic. However, there's artistic impulses in science, in research, in engineering, and it's that constant search for the journey, to discover new, to learn more and to grow. So I don't think that creativity is not a shared spark by everybody. I do believe it is. I believe it just comes out in different ways for each person and what they appreciate. I believe my art practice is based in hard work and not waiting for inspiration to hit, but creating, and then the inspiration comes during the process. So I know there are some artists who wait for they completely have an inspiration. It was probably how my parents raised me, is you don't sit around and wait for the inspiration, you get going and there's always things to do. So a lot of my art practice is coming into the studio and doing tasks. If I don't have an inspiration at the moment, doing tasks that are necessary to get done, like gessoing panels, doing layouts, playing with compositions, practicing, studying. And then in the middle of that, your inspiration wells up and then you're off and going. So I don't think waiting for inspiration is key. I think it's actually getting in and working, doing the work, that's key. I don't think I'll ever stop making art. Art to me it's like life. It's that embrace of failure, the embrace of risk, and swimming in that is where you grow. Because failure isn't a negative word. I think people think of it as being negative. Failure to me, is like all possibility. So you try something, it doesn't work, and then you try something else, and then you learn this. And it's the same way as if you go to the gym. You don't go in and lift a 5-pound weight. You go in and work to failure, and that's what helps your muscles grow. It's not just going in and kind of going through the motions. So what I appreciate about art is that it's a way to intellectually and emotionally work to that point of failure and grow. And I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of that.